totally can't hear us right now.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind works backwards just for a minute, I hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, I remember you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling.
Welcome to episode 16 of the ADV podcasts.
No one saw you take those off.
Yeah, that's why I got to do it again.
But there's no
Welcome.
swish. Do it again. Come on.
All right, 1, 2, 3, and today we're actually talking about something that's I don't know. It's again going to be a dour episode. We'll try and keep it as peppy as possible.
We
but
got some fun stuff.
The puppet masters are revealing their strings.
They are. That's what we called this.
Yeah.
That's a good title. You sent it to me this morning.
That's correct. Anyway, guys, welcome once again. We're going to get
Welcome.
straight into it with our segment, which is
Live
what?
check.
Okay.
Trademark. Loudie 6 live check. Just so you guys don't say, this is pre-recorded. Winnie the Pooh says, I am the chosen one. The world trembles in my presence.
Okay. Great.
Thank you for that live check.
Right, so now we're going to do What's New, where we talk about what's new in the world, especially, with regards to China.
Oh, interesting. You
Yeah.
changed it up a little bit.
Yeah, I like to do that sometimes. Now, quite big news here, everybody. China has a new chairman.
This is breaking. We should have really hyped this up. Breaking news.
Yeah,
China's got a new chairman.
yeah. So we're going to reveal who
We're
he
the
is
first to
right
find
here.
out.
Yeah, this is... let's take a look here. Okay. Get us out of there. I hope people get the joke.
I feel like they have to. It's a chairman.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Enough of that.
If we have to explain that, then
Yeah. I hope we don't have to explain that.
retire.
Let's bring us back in there. All right, guys. What's happening here is this is in the hospital.
Oh
okay?
yeah, tell the listeners.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, there's a gentleman walks in with his wife in the hospital, and there's no place to sit. So he basically allows his wife to sit on him as
What a
a
nice
chair.
guy.
Yeah, so
Seriously.
chivalrous. But at the same time, I am going to point out the fact that there's just a random middle-aged dude sitting on a chair there who could have offered his chair up for a pregnant woman.
We were just originally talking about this, a little behind the scenes stuff, and you were saying like this guy's just sitting there on his phone. And I was kind of half agreeing with you, but I was like, well, he's not going to stand up and let that woman sit on him. And then I just realized, he could have just given his chair.
Yes, he could have actually been like, oh, look, a pregnant woman who needs to sit down. Here,
Right.
take my chair. But that never happens.
No.
Younger
Younger people do that.
You know, one thing, though, Shenzhen, the city where I lived for so long, they kind of prided themselves on this image of being courteous on the bus. It was like Shenzhen's biggest thing. So on the bus or on the metro, you would see people offering their chairs up for children, elderly people, and pregnant women.
All right. I'm not going to call bullshit, but what I'm going to say is that happened about 50% of the time.
Yeah, but compared to everywhere else in
It's
China...
much more.
Yeah, it was actually a thing, and so it was kind of like a saving face for the city. And they put out like lots of propaganda to keep perpetuating that. Obviously, if you got anyone from out of town, they wouldn't do it, you know.
A lot of people will pretend to sleep.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
that. They're like, oh, wait, there's a pregnant woman. Anyway, it's nice to see the guy.
It is. I thought it was really
Yeah.
sweet, but it's also hilarious.
It's hilarious. I don't know why I wouldn't just let her sit on his lap or something. That seems super uncomfortable.
Yeah. Or you know what, actually?
Yeah.
Okay, those people are being a-holes.
Yeah.
Because they're not giving up their chair for a pregnant
Sure.
woman. But why didn't he have the balls to go ask them?
No, I mean, come on, like that's not how it works in China.
Well, let's be realistic. I
Mm-hmm.
would have been like, hey, can she sit down, please?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, anyway, didn't want confrontation, obviously. Let's move on to our next little thing, and this is a little bit more dour. This has been making the rounds, and it's not the first time. In fact, when this first came out, I thought they were referring to a story that happened, about a year ago now, which
This
is
is
exactly the same.
It's a new one, though.
It's
and
exactly
it's
the
on camera.
same. So let's explain to all of our viewers and listening.
I'll
I
narrate.
should say listening.
Yes.
Listeners.
What's your name? So, can you pause it?
Yeah.
So what we have is a dude in a cage. If you're listening, he's trapped. It kind of looks like an electric chair almost. It's got bars
It's like
all
a
over the place.
stockade, from back in the day,
Yeah.
like when you pelt someone with vegetables in medieval times.
Imagine that, except your head's not in it, your body's in it.
Yeah.
And it's made of metal.
Yeah.
Right.
It's basically a restraint.
Yeah.
This is the chairman number 2.
I will be the criminal. You can be the cops. What do you think?
Okay, let's narrate this.
It's kind of like real life. Lu Hua, he says. His name.
So I'm the cops here. What am I going to say? Do you know why you're here?
I know, I'm sorry.
Sorry for what?
I drunk too much and spoke nonsense.
What do you do for a living?
Nothing particular. I attend to my dad at home.
So he's sick. Now, before we even move on here, this is a very strong psychological thing that they're doing here. In China, involving family is always the easiest and quickest route to shut someone up and to scare someone. They try to do it with us all the time. So the cops are bringing his family into this straight away, just to let him know just how serious this is. Because oh, your father's sick, eh? It's that kind of thing to make him like, oh shit, now they're bringing my dad into this.
For those of the people who haven't seen this yet are going to get all hyped up thinking this is like a super high level criminal that they caught. But you're about to find out what he did.
Yeah, no, he didn't do...
Well.
Yeah, let's see, okay. Then why did you complain about police on QQ and WeChat? So he's like, oh, so your father's sick, eh? So then why did you complain about police on QQ and WeChat? Yeah. What is that going to do with anything? Oh, so your father's sick, eh? So then why did you go buy milk at the store? Actually, they don't sell milk really, so...
Well, yeah, that's shelf milk.
Yeah, that's true. So then...
This is
when?
Yesterday.
Yesterday what time?
Last night around 9.
On WeChat?
Yes.
In a group chat?
It's about someone riding a motorcycle and there was a picture. So I just commented.
How many people in the group?
75.
What's your screen name?
Wind chasing Lu Hua.
Wind chasing Lu Hua? Why did you talk about the traffic police online? Why did you talk about the traffic police online? About them confiscating motorcycles? What's wrong with the police confiscating motorcycles?
Nothing wrong with that.
You're not sounding under duress.
All right, fine. I'll add a little.
So why did you badmouth the police?
I drunk too much.
That's your excuse? Drank too much? Why did you badmouth the police? Do you hate the police?
No.
So why did you badmouth the police?
I drunk too much.
What's your intention?
Nothing at all.
So you were just making a joke in the group chat?
Yes, I was telling a joke, nothing more. I know I'm wrong.
Do you really mean it?
Absolutely.
So you didn't mean to badmouth the police?
Definitely not. I just drank a bit too much.
Any words for the police?
Uncle Police, I'm so sorry. I'm wrong. I know that now. Uncle Police, I'm so sorry. I'm wrong. I know that now. Please forgive me. I won't do it again ever.
Yeah.
Go back to his image.
We'll take a look. This, by the way, for those of you who are not actually familiar with the way China works, this is kind of been a part of China for a very long time. Mm-hmm. This public humiliation. Mm-hmm. Whenever somebody is caught doing something wrong, they like to put signs on them and parade them around in the streets. I've seen it with my own eyes when they busted prostitutes. And,
they always do that, yeah.
And they busted Johns. They basically carted them around in Shenzhen. This is way back when I first got there. I have no idea what was going on. And they were wearing like bright yellow.
I'm a whore.
And, with written on there, I'm a prostitute, and like I solicit prostitution on the guys. And if you get caught drunk driving, they make you take these mandatory classes, which basically you have to sit there in a pink T-shirt that said "I drove drunk," and then it's like they film it, and then the cop says, you know, it's bad to drive drunk, and everyone's like, yes, it's bad to drive drunk, and they get filmed and put on TV and stuff.
They don't do this to everyone that commits a crime. This is just when they want to make propaganda out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's if you go back into like ancient times in China, they do this
since ancient times.
Yeah, since ancient times.
Right.
And obviously during the Cultural Revolution, like they do all those struggle sessions in public, and they put those placards on people. I'm a landlord, or blah blah blah. It's pretty dire to see this kind of behavior coming back into the spotlight in China again, because I mean this is very dehumanizing.
Sure.
It's totally unnecessary, and let's give a little bit of backstory about what actually happened here, because this is something we can relate to.
Yeah, so Liu Hua, this guy, I want to preface this by saying that all the stuff, the crimes that you're talking about, and then the public humiliation, we're kind of used to that in China, and I'm not making excuses for it, but it's nothing out of the ordinary.
Sure.
This type of action.
Sure.
The problem I have with this is the kind of public humiliation, the things that these people are doing to warrant this punishment is getting so like easy to break the law.
Yeah.
It's insane. So this guy went on WeChat and he posted a picture of some traffic cops confiscating a motorcycle. Most cities in China, you can't ride a motorcycle within city limits, right?
Yeah.
So he did this and he said something along the lines of F the police. I can't believe they're taking motorcycles. This is unfair, blah, blah, blah. Within 3 hours, right? He also did this on QQ.
Yeah.
Within 3 hours, the cops arrested him, and this is the interrogation from the next day when they got all the cameras set up and like he had it all prepared. So he was in the police station overnight.
Yeah.
For saying that the police suck, basically.
Yeah.
For taking motorcycles.
Yeah. And this is something that we've been party to this. You know, we've been in groups where, you know, because motorcycle riders and motorcycle enthusiasts in China really have a raw deal. Okay? Unless you live in Shanghai or Beijing, where they've got laws that allow you to ride bikes, it's a little bit more organized. But most of the Chinese cities, like outside of the very big cities, you're not allowed to ride a motorcycle in the city limits, like you say. So when you've got motorcycle enthusiasts, even if you have a legal bike that's registered and insured and everything, you're not allowed to drive it into most cities. They have like areas you're not allowed to bring it into, right? So what'll happen is in these groups, people will post pictures. Oh, the cops are confiscating motorcycles here, here, and here. So just avoid these areas. Don't go into this town. Don't go. And people will be like, why don't they have anything better to do? Because they do. They take your bike away and you never get it back. They're like,
unless you bribe them, which happens.
They pretty much destroy it or they sell it on or whatever. So they, in essence, stealing your motorcycle. So motorcycle guys like us get really frustrated, and we vent in the groups and we take photos of the cops.
You're like, avoid this road.
Yeah, don't go on this road. They're taking bikes. So this is pretty much what he did. He saw the picture and he's like, or he took the picture and he's like, screw these guys. They're taking bikes again. And he ends up being interrogated and like shackled in a chair. And obviously detained, and he probably has like a criminal record now, and like he's humiliated. He's lost face for his entire family and everything like that.
So these are scare tactics, so people don't do it again. So there was kind of inefficient for the cops to go stand on the side of the road and take bikes all day, because people would avoid it, right? So now they're going to the roots level and just actually looking at private conversations, which is insane. That's some Orwellian shit.
Yeah, it is. It's literally like the thought police, you know?
Wrong speak.
Yeah. So this guy has been arrested, and you know, this whole thing about like, oh, so you're going to talk bad about the police thing? It's so annoying, and the fact that they bring his family into it and stuff. This is just a glimpse into the way China is heading, or has been for quite some time. And this is something that I constantly have to remind people that deal with China and who live in China, is that you can fall afoul of this stuff. It is possible.
Yeah.
You know, and until you do, China is an amazingly free and open and great place to live and work and walk around, and you think everything's totally fine. But it's when you bump into a situation like this is when you get woken up straight away, and you realize that it's not all roses, and in fact there's a lot of societal issues, and the way that the government and the police run the place is actually very, very sort of bad.
And what I've said for years and years to people is that, yes, China does on the surface feel very free.
Yeah.
And you said, like, yeah, you have to get, when you get bitten, you wake up and you're like, this is actually one of the most archaic rules of law society in the world.
Yeah, and then you realize there's a 99% conviction rate.
So my problem with this whole evolution of like cracking down on stuff in China is that you don't know today what's legal and what tomorrow is going to be illegal. That's the problem. You don't know what they're going to decide they don't want anymore.
Pretty much
That's the issue.
The way it works in China is that everything is illegal.
Yes.
But it's all tolerated.
Right.
And then they just decide which illegal activity they're not going to tolerate next. And you don't know what that could be. It could be something like wearing green shoes. You know, it's just one of these things.
I've always had an issue with people that keep harping on us about like, well, who cares if that's the law and they don't want motorcycles in their country, even though it's stupid for stupid reasons because they don't want China to look poor. Mm-hmm. Then don't worry about it. Like, there's other things you can do that doesn't affect most people, but it's the precedent of how they're cracking down on this kind of stuff that's more important than the actual taking of motorcycles.
Absolutely, and also the fact that the law changes all the time. So yeah, you get rid of your bike and you get an e-bike. Then they
ban those
e-bikes illegal, and you don't know that this has happened, and you happen to be riding around and you get nabbed. So it's kind of tough. Anyway, it's pretty crappy.
That poor guy.
Yeah, but hopefully he serves as a bit of a wake-up call for a lot of people out there.
Our voice acting was terrible, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I know it was. Guys, we're going to move on to something else, which is kind of funny, I guess. I was getting a lot of comments on my videos and on your videos and on ADVChina that when people are watching our videos, an advert keeps popping up saying that SerpentZA's videos are misleading and stuff like that. And I was like, what the hell's going on? So we tracked it down with the help of you, and we got this. There it is. There's a screenshot of it, and basically, someone has been paying money to put ads on any China-related videos out there. It's like a misinformation campaign to say that I mislead people about understanding China. It's kind of hilarious. Do they realize that they're actually funding our videos?
I don't know.
By taking out adverts, they're actually paying us.
Let me tell you how I found this. So, like you said, people kept alarming us. They're like alerting us. They're like, this video keeps coming up on Beijing Life. You're on the CCP's radar. So there is a state media channel called Beijing Life, Beijing Shenghua.
Yeah.
And it's a state media thing. And I went through like 300 of their videos looking for your name.
Yeah.
And I searched everywhere. I couldn't find it. And I also couldn't find the exact title that people keep telling me, right?
Yeah.
So a subscriber got a hold of me, and we ended up tracking down. It's a channel that ripped off the name of the state media.
Right.
But it's actually a vlog channel from a Chinese dude that speaks English. And he changed the name of the video.
Right.
So the ad is the old name. SerpentZA's video leads you to misunderstanding China. The new one's something similar. Yeah. But that's why we couldn't find it. So I found it. And yeah, it's just shit talking you the whole time. But the fact, I know how AdWords works.
Sure.
And just by those views and the frequency of it popping up, he at least spent $100, and I think it's probably more like in the thousands.
Yeah.
For that amount of exposure, they really want anything related to China for this video to pop up.
Yeah.
And my question to you is: do you think this is state sponsored, or do you think he did this because he's that good of a citizen?
Well, I think it kind of boils down to the same thing at the end of the day. If he's doing it out of
charity for the government
because he feels the need to, it means that the government's message is working very well.
Sure.
You see, this is the one thing that I don't think these guys understand or the Chinese government understands. But they are, by doing things like this, by attacking us, by trying to shut us down, it really legitimizes us, and it
legitimizes every bad thing they do.
It just shows the world just how important our opinions are, that they need to go to such lengths to try and shut us down. Why would they care? Why would somebody take out an ad campaign to, like a misinformation campaign against me?
So petty.
If they didn't think that my opinion was important,
people.
Yeah. So obviously I've got a very important opinion, and it's got weight behind it. Otherwise, it wouldn't do this.
No.
So it's just legitimizing what we do.
So what I thought was interesting is EF, English First, used to take out ads in our videos that would warn people about, English teaching contracts, or like when you move to China, what to look out for. Maybe they always took them out on our videos where we talked about maybe you're not the right kind of person to come to China to teach English.
Sure.
And they would take out these huge ad campaigns on our videos.
Right.
And say, and they actually shot this in retaliation to us. And they're like, China is not what people make it out to be.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
might hear a lot of warnings about, oh, it's dangerous,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
oh, watch out.
Yeah.
But don't worry, like, we got your back, and it's all these, like, Laois foreigners,
Yeah, they're, like, having hot
dancing around,
pots
having
and, yeah,
amazing
KTV.
exotic foods. And we were just pissing ourselves
Yeah.
because we're like, they actually went out to shoot and produce and then go on AdWords and fund this campaign.
Yeah, but for them it's a monetary.
That's what I'm saying.
It's monetary.
Is we can understand that. We
Yeah.
laughed about it. And yeah, like maybe our message hurts their business because we're warning people, yeah, go do it, but maybe you're not the right person. We don't want people to get screwed over. We're
Sure.
honest.
Sure.
Now with this, I mean, this is actually paid defamation, and I think
Yeah.
it's freaking hilarious
Yeah.
that someone, or maybe the government, is actually doing this.
I know.
It blows my mind. You're paying money
Yeah.
to go drive traffic to you.
Yeah.
And it's actually increasing exposure.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is someone types in like travel China and they watch some bullshit CGTN video.
Yeah.
This ad's going to come up. And
Yeah.
be like, who the fuck's SerpentZA?
Yeah, then they're going to look me up and they're
Yeah.
going to watch my videos anyway.
And then they'll be
Thanks
like,
for
"Oh,
the free
shit."
advertising, you dumbass. No, seriously, it's absolutely
The
ridiculous.
Streisand effect with the CCP is just hilarious.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah.
And the more shills that they pay or promote,
Yeah.
because you're seeing tons of them nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a breeding hub of YouTube's a breeding hub. It's like an anthill of like reproducing foreigners talking good
Sure.
about the CCP.
Yeah.
The more they do that, I mean, the more our message is legitimized.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
And the more everyone else's opinion that's really critical of the CCP right now is legitimized.
Correct. You guys, we did a great interview with the Russian kid, the friendly neighborhood Russian kid.
picture on?
Where is that? Right near the end or something?
I think so, yeah. I think it's the
Okay.
second to last one.
Okay, let's just get him. There we
There we
go. All right. If you want to see us talk about the rise of the sort of YouTube propaganda,
YouTube Wu Mouse.
yeah, you know the foreign
White Wu Mouse.
yeah, the foreign face propaganda guys. We did a great interview. It's his latest video, so you can just go.
I think we quashed a lot of misconceptions
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, we also talked a lot about this narrative of people say that if you make negative videos about China, you make money on YouTube, but if you make positive videos, then it gets demonetized.
That's such shit.
Which is absolute crap because it doesn't matter if you make positive or negative. If you talk about anything sensitive, it gets demonetized, and
Yeah.
we get demonetized just as much as people that make positive
Of
videos,
course.
if not more.
Yeah.
because we
But it's
talk
not
about
YouTube
sensitive
bias.
stuff. No, it's literally just YouTube being overly sensitive.
So go check out the interview. It's NKFRZ.
yes, I don't even know how you're supposed to say that. Nifkers.
Nifkers. Sure.
Okay. Anyway, fun.
But it was good. It was fun. He's a cool
fun.
dude.
Yeah, he's a really, really down to earth guy. Anyway, let's continue. I don't like looking at this poor guy. Let's
So-
move. Let's.
so sad.
Yeah, super sad. Okay, let's
Wrap
move
this
on
segment
to. Oh yeah, let's just get it off of there for a minute. We're going to talk about that in a second. So guys, I think we're done with our what's new. Let's answer a couple of super chats and we'll move on to the main segment of the show.
Mats Jada, thank you very much. 2047 will eventually come. Does Hong Kong have any hope? It's not about that.
Yeah.
Very succinctly, it's about keeping their word until 2047.
Yes.
Right? So, like, Hong Kong people, the ones that really care about this and don't want to be part of China, would probably find a way to leave in that
Yes.
time period. But right now, it's becoming more difficult because they're eroding all of those negotiations they had.
Yeah, that was the whole point. 2047, yes, when it comes, and then that is what it is, right? But
Yeah.
it's all about broken promises.
Right. Josema Fernandez Barreras,
Mm-hmm.
her dudes, maybe hi dudes.
Hey, dudes.
Oh, hey dudes, probably.
Yeah.
Hey dudes.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the political correctness? For me, the worst thing in the West right now feels like a dictatorship. Stay awesome. Yeah, I get glimpses. I think a lot of people dramatize the whole PC thing more often than not because I don't see people walking on eggshells around me and have conversations.
In real life,
Right.
I haven't experienced it. It's just the stuff you see in the news.
Yeah.
and this.
And it's
And
stupid.
yeah, I mean, you do see like signs up and
Yeah.
weird stuff and whatever. But yeah, political correctness is something that I absolutely can't stand. I think it's
Neither of
it's
us.
counterproductive to civilization. It's
It is.
actually it takes things backwards. It
Mm-hmm.
prevents people from actually discussing proper,
Mm-hmm.
real problems and fixing them. So, where I grew up in South Africa, where I come from, political correctness is the order of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You can get arrested if you say the wrong words, and if you are perceived as being racist or whatever. And of course, it's just been a part of my life. So I'm going to be getting into that soon. I'm working on a video, and it's something that it's been hard for me to put it together because my first big trip across America just blew my mind. Something happened on that trip which just completely changed my whole idea on just racism in general and political
good way.
correctness. In a good way, yeah. Hell yeah. America's an amazing place. And I actually filmed myself in shock after this event happened in front of me. And I've just been trying to find the right way to put it out there because it's so sensitive. But that's coming up soon. Yeah.
Cool.
Political correctness sucks, though.
It does.
Yeah.
Absolutely does. Last one before we move on. Stereo JPN. I see the police there now ripping off stuff from Futurama. Where's the beeping light on his chest for the guy to talk through? True.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too low tech for that, to be
Absolutely.
fair. Oh, and maybe just quickly, Dion
Yeah.
Chapman, very generous. Thank you so much, dude. Have
Thanks,
some Christmas
mate.
pudding on me, guys.
Fantastic.
What is
Thank
Christmas
you.
pudding again?
You don't know? It's like fruit.
I do.
It's like fruitcake with marzipan on top.
Right.
And-
That's terrible.
Look,
what we're going to do
marzipan
is
is
skip a turkey with that.
No, marzipan's disgusting.
No, it's
I
horrible.
hate marzipan so
I
much.
don't think anyone likes
that
it.
white crap, and it's like it always looks like it's been there for a year
It has.
or more. But my grandmother used to make a brandy, sort of fruitcake, but it was like so soaked in brandy you get drunk eating it.
That's interesting.
Because she'd cook it with brandy, but then she'd like when it was cooked, she'd like soak it in brandy again.
Do you think that was her excuse?
My grandmother was awesome. She never took pain pills and stuff. She just drank.
That was my grandma.
Oh, as
Rest
well?
in peace.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to our main segment of the show,
Yep.
Soft Power Hour, where we talk about the usually insidious ways that China tries to change your opinion.
Yes.
Now we have to talk about something which is quite despicable, to be honest. Okay. First,
also kind of funny.
it's super funny. First and foremost, we have to differentiate the difference between state media coming out of China and media in a place like America or Australia. Now, in America, you've got all these different, like Fox News and CNNs, CNBC, XYZ, LGBTQ, all these things, right? And all these
It's
different...
probably a real news network.
Probably, yeah. All these different networks can say pretty much what they want about the government. They're privately owned, the corporations. But in China, it's not like that. It's run by the state. They are de facto mouthpieces of the government. So whatever comes out of state media in China is something that the government has said, pretty much.
I also want to give a little insight onto how state media works.
Yeah.
So there's the main People's Daily. That is the penultimate final word of the dictator, basically,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But there's a bunch of other state media.
Should be called Xi's Daily.
Yeah. There's Shenzhen Daily, there's
Yeah.
Beijing Daily, there's all these other newspapers
Sure.
and websites and things like that, which is also 100% state controlled. But
Right.
what the difference is those ones are a little bit more experimental. And when the government wants to promote an initiative, they test the waters and the public reaction with those smaller papers before it ends up on People's Daily.
Sure.
So this one here is
we
one of
haven't-
those branches that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to put something up. It's
This
not
is
on the
from
screen
People's
yet.
Daily overseas.
Hang on a second. Yeah. Okay. So what we're talking about right now, guys, is we'd like you to take a look at this. We'll get ourselves out of the
Okay,
picture.
I'm just going to,
Yeah. Now, what it says here, we'll translate it for you. At the top there, in the yellow writing, it basically says America signed this like Hong Kong Democracy Act or whatever. So we invite you to vandalize the White House.
The wording they use is 装修,
Yeah.
which means renovate,
Yeah.
but it's in
欢迎
quotes
来.
for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Basically,
can see.
装修 means to renovate, right?
That's what
But
I
then,
just said.
yeah, I know you said that, but they say renovate, but then with a picture of people setting what they think is the White House. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But setting basically the American Capitol building on fire.
But in the quote, it says White House.
Yeah, it says
which
White
is
House.
hilarious.
They're breaking the windows. They've set it on fire. They're spray painting free on the roof. They've dressed the people up as like Hong Kong protesters. But the quote, if you're Chinese and you read that quote, it literally says, "We welcome you to do this to the White House." And with this picture, like come and renovate it in this way. And it's kind of like an immature, I'd say a very immature sort of snarky, like, oh yeah, well they passed that bill. So yeah, then let's just go show them what this, the Hong Kong protesters are all about.
Your mom gay, no you.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. It's incredibly childish. The worst part is that it was posted on the People's Daily Overseas Facebook page. It was also posted on the CCTV, the China Central Television, which is like the state mouthpiece on their media pages as well, social media pages. Now, as of right now, they've been deleted. I think they realized that they were being ridiculous.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they were deleted because they lost face. Not because of the violence and horrible imagery, but because they literally don't know what the White House is.
Oh, that's true, because let's move on to the next one. I mean, I just want to point out to people, you can see there, because I took the screenshot last night while it was still up, and you can see there, the People's Daily Overseas. It was from their Facebook page. You know, there's this hi, why, whatever, and it's their official account. This is coming from the Chinese government.
That's the Chinese government, straight up.
Right. Okay. And by the time I tried to get the screenshot from the CCTV Facebook page, it was already gone. But you know, the reason it's gone also is I think it was like basically brigaded. There were many people flagging it as being like inciting violence or whatever.
Sure.
Which makes sense, because it is. It's basically telling people to go and mess up the White House. Well, the Capitol building. Lots of people started to make fun. You know what I mean? Because the White House is obviously not the building that they drew in the picture.
Correct.
It's the Capitol building. And so they've got memes going around on Twitter now where they're showing...
This is from
like,
a Hong Kong person.
Yeah. They're basically showing like, look...
You don't even know.
You don't know the difference between the White House and the Capitol building?
And this is the freaking central government of China.
This is the Chinese government.
So what happens when Xi Jinping goes to like meet Trump on American soil or whatever? Did he show up to the wrong building?
Yeah, maybe.
This is literally what it looks like.
Yeah. They're like, I guess if they ever try to do a missile strike, they'll hit the wrong building. You know what I mean?
People are in the chat are saying that the original post from them is still on their Twitter.
Oh, it's still on their Twitter.
Interesting.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, Twitter's probably not going to take it down. They let all sorts of weird stuff stay up there. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's absolutely ridiculous that the government could do that, because we were discussing this a little earlier, just C-Milk and myself, we were sitting there discussing it. We thought, what if just a big news outlet like CNN or something put out a thing with like the Tiananmen Square with the portrait of Mao and stuff and showed people burning it and spray painting all over and said like, we welcome our citizens to go and renovate the Tiananmen Square, something like that. I don't think it'd go down very well.
I don't think so. What would actually happen is it would say, we invite you to renovate Tiananmen Square's Mao portrait, but they'll show a picture of Deng Xiaoping in Shenzhen. That's actually
that would be correct.
That's the correct analogy.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, like, they actually think just like the stupid shit with 9/11, thinking that they're gonna make everyone's feels are hurt.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit, dude.
Nope.
So you're spending all this money and like, just looking like the most butthurt, insecure government in the world.
Yeah.
And you're putting this stuff out in public forum, and everyone's laughing at you, not getting upset at the picture.
No
one gives a shit about this.
No, and let someone come and try do that. I'd love to see a bunch of like
that would be
nationalists,
great entertainment.
Nationalists coming to like renovate the Capitol building.
To be fair, like if they inspired enough people to do that,
yeah,
and like those people ended up dead or arrested or whatever,
yeah.
The Chinese government doesn't give a shit.
No.
It's like meat in the meat packing facilities.
Yeah, that would be a good reason for them to, like, I don't know, impose some kind of, like, trade tariffs or something.
This, like, butthurt shit is so ridiculous these days.
Yeah, it is.
It's embarrassing.
Anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty funny. We had to talk about it. It's funny, it's tragic, it's tone deaf, it's immature, it's, like, really ridiculous. But now we got to move on to something a little more serious.
We do.
Okay, and now the next thing we're going to talk about is something that I have been talking about for a very long time. And this is something that I want to bring attention to. And I'm going to probably start to make a bit of a campaign against this kind of thing, if possible. Now, let me take us out of this again.
Bye-bye.
Let's take a look at this. What we see here is we see a sign in Chinese. Okay? Now, what's going on in this sign?
This sign is an advertisement with a QR code and a QQ number, just for convenience. Basically saying that you can get your tests written for you.
Yeah, like your essays.
Your
projects,
all that kind of stuff. And then you just pay some money, and then you don't have to do them yourself.
Yeah. Now, to give you guys a little bit of background here, that was taken inside the toilets of Monash University in Australia.
You love Australia's influence right now.
Well, because Australia belongs to China.
I know, just inciting that.
Okay, but it's not just in Australia. This kind of thing is very, very prevalent in America and any other Western country. So what happens is, in order to study overseas in one of these universities, you need to have a certain level of English. Okay? Now, the kind of students that end up going overseas to study are usually from rich families. Okay, I'd say the majority of them are from like upper middle class to rich families, because it's incredibly expensive to send your child to an overseas university.
Right.
Now, I'm going to be completely honest. Usually, if you're a rich, spoiled kid, you usually don't put a lot of time and effort into studying, and your English level's usually not very good. You want to spend your time bragging and hanging out in KTVs and stuff like that. So I'm not taking away from the legitimate people that do actually get their TOEFL, TOEFL, they actually study and they pass, because you're supposed to pass this kind of like test in order to, like a English proficiency test before you can enroll in universities. And I know that that's a huge corrupt thing going on, because when I was in China working for some of these training centers, they would actually like try to get me to help people cheat to pass that. They would offer to take these tests. They become like a TOEFL certified center or whatever, and then they just take bribes and pass people, things like that. It's quite common. I've seen it with my own eyes.
I have my personal story here.
Go
I had a English training center, and I had one very intelligent girl and one boy that were both trying to pass the TOEFL exam, so they could both study in England potentially.
Right.
Now, when they showed up, he showed up in a Ferrari.
Right.
He was 18 years old.
Great.
He had a Ferrari, right? His parents did some sort of smuggling, high-wire, like, like you get some of the packages and from the boat, we get some huge network in Chaozhou.
Sure.
But they lived in Huizhou, and he was in my little class to prepare for the TOEFL.
Right.
So I went through a little practice questions, and the girl was like totally fine, totally going to be okay, right?
Right.
He didn't speak a lick of English. He was such an asshole.
Yeah.
He was super rude. He was this chubby little dork on his phone half the time. And I'm like, listen, do you want to pass this? And he didn't care.
Yeah.
His parents made him go to this thing. And he's like, whatever. And then he drove away every time.
Yeah.
So this went on for a week. The results came back. She failed and he passed.
What the hell?
They bribed the TOEFL examiner.
Right.
Because if the testing is going on within mainland China, it doesn't matter what oversight there is.
Yeah.
There is potential for bribes.
Absolutely.
And that is 100% true story. And he's now studying, he's gone to study abroad.
They say right now that like the level of education is actually being lowered quite significantly in the colleges here, because of the university professors have to deal with people who can't speak English very well. So they have to dumb down the entire class.
But they've passed the exam.
Yeah. Anyway, the thing is, in order to pass, you have to write your thesis, or you have to write like projects. And what we see in this picture here is basically they're offering services to do this. Now, it's difficult to bust these guys, and the reason being that they're based out of China. So what happens is, first of all, the language barrier. If you saw that sticker in a bathroom, or you saw it around campus or something, you wouldn't know what it is if you can't speak Chinese or read Chinese. You'd be like, oh, whatever. But it blatantly says on there that they're going to help you cheat. Now, this is something about Chinese culture. Like, prostitution is 100% illegal in China, but you'll see adverts for prostitution everywhere, like stickers like this, or cards and stuff. You know what I mean? You'd think that that's a bad idea. If you're doing something illegal, you're giving out your number.
You don't promote it.
Yeah, you don't promote it. It's like a drug dealer here. Like, hey, take my card. It's like, I'll give you like coke.
Come to my house.
Cocaine and heroin. This is my phone number,
But
that's... This kind of thing is out in the open in China. So they're doing it here too, or they're doing it in Australia by putting these things up. And it's kind of crazy, but we have this problem with these high trust societies like Canada, America, Australia. They're high trust societies. We wouldn't expect people to do things like this, so we get taken advantage of. And so this is what this is all about. First of all, you don't know what it means. Second of all, you've got no means of accessing it because you need to use QQ or WeChat, which are usually not software that like foreigners will use.
Correct.
So it's Chinese software. And of course, you would have to be able to speak Chinese. We do speak Chinese. So after doing a little bit of research into this, there are tons of these companies out there. They offer things like, we have all PhD staff that can, like the majority of them have graduated from Western universities and stuff. They will write your, your project for you and stuff, and have it back within a day or two and proofread and all that stuff. And so you can basically just hang around in class, not do anything, and then when it's time to hand in your project or whatever, you suddenly have this pristine document that's been emailed from China by a Chinese company. So there's like no legal route to prosecute or to like shut these guys down because they're in China anyway. You know what I mean? And again, I can bring it back into a personal story here is I was working for a training center that was dealing with sending people to England as well. And as part of my job there, he was like, hey, yeah, we got a student just wants to write a project here and needs your help to, proofread it.
Right.
And I was like, okay, no problem, I'll do that. So I was getting these like horrible, just machine translated basically. So what I'd get was gobbledygook. It just wouldn't make any sense. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? And it would take me hours to rewrite this to make any sense at all. I had to like try to decipher what they were talking about.
Right.
And I thought I was doing this to help people out. Turns out, and I found out that I was doing this job.
You were the dude.
I was doing this job. They were taking
Wow.
advantage of me as being a teacher in that training center. They were asking me to correct these like notes for this student or something. And what they were doing was this.
So you were like an English farm.
Yeah, I was like helping correct this disgusting document, this complete garbage. And then they were obviously sending them off to whoever's studying overseas so that they could pass their class.
Interesting. So you're complicit. But you
Yeah,
didn't know.
no, I didn't know. So the horrible thing about this all is then what happens is you get people who are graduating because they just use services like this all the time.
And they go out.
They go
the
out there
world.
and they're like, "Hey, look, I'm a freaking PhD or I'm a bachelor's in this," and then they get hired for that position. But they first of all have no clue what they're doing, and second of all, they've not earned it. It's rampant.
It is.
It's huge. We're just scratching the surface of this stuff.
Yeah.
There's all this thing about like they bust people quite often with like multiple fake passports, and what they're doing is they're sitting down to take tests for these rich kids. They offer a service where what will happen is that happens a lot. So what happens is they'll get a fake passport, a fake Chinese passport that looks legit, and it'll just have this one dude's photo. So that, like one girl or one guy will have like say 6 or 7 different passports, one for each of their clients. When they go to sit down and write the test, you have to show your identification.
Yeah.
So they show this fake passport with the student's name and their photo, and then the examiner will be like, okay, you're him, right, go ahead and write the test. And this person will just charge like $2,000, $3,000 to write the test. Sit down, write the test, pass, and then the students passed and got their grades and all that kind of stuff. This is really...
It's a huge black market.
It's a massive
It's not
thing.
even a black market.
No,
it's
it's
totally
just-
above board in China.
And it's out in the open, but because of the language barrier and the high trust society that we live in, people don't realize it. But I'm going to start to point it out a lot. And we're going to show a lot of cases. So anyway, this is one of those things. This is something you can take a look at if you're interested. If you are, if you're in Australia or whatever, then we're going to.
Hey, that's worldview. Get out of there.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm always skipping ahead here. There's actually an article about this you can go read by Joyce Fung.
There you go.
So just do a search for
Chinese students paid to rort.
Australian universities as government tackles
Rort.
cheating.
That's an interesting word. What does that mean?
Must be Australianism.
You're right.
Yes,
I'm not gonna
someone's
try.
going to tell us like.
They're the idiots. You
Yeah,
don't know
exactly. You don't know what a bogan is.
You don't know what a
Yeah.
bogan is. You
Yeah,
rort.
yeah, exactly. Anyway, you could go check that out.
Yes.
Anyway, that's pretty much it for our soft power hour.
Correct.
So let's
Hope
hit
you
some
enjoyed it.
questions. Yeah. Sorry about that long monologue, guys.
Get that crap out of there.
Oh yeah, we can get out of there. Right.
Okay. Jeremiah Johnson says, can't think of a good question about China. That's fine.
Sure.
So, being car guys, do you prefer the new C8 Corvette or the new Porsche 911 992? And why don't either of you like the new Camaros? Keep up the great work. Thanks. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You go first. I got something to say.
100% the 911. If you guys know me, I'm massive. Stop. Get out of here. It's my opinion.
Yeah, it's your opinion. Everyone can
I'm
have one.
entitled.
Yeah.
I love 911s. I've liked 911s since I was a little kid. It's my dream to have a 911. Just can't afford one. So of course I picked that. I actually don't like the new C8 Corvette that much. It's a good value. You get a ton of car for the money, but I think it doesn't look like a Corvette, and I do like Corvettes. I don't like the new Camaros because they remind me of Transformers. Like, it ruined it, and especially if you're in China.
Oh
Man, people were obsessed with Transformers. It's got to be one of the worst franchises of all time. If you like the Transformers movies, I have no idea what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
They're so bad.
They're terrible.
So when that was like the mascot of the freaking movies, of course it ruins the image of it. for me.
Everyone in China was painting their cars yellow. Buying yellow cars.
They would
and
get the
putting their
base
stripes,
model Camaro, remember?
Yeah. It was actually being sold in
It
China.
was,
So we'd see it everywhere. So I agree with you.
The Transformer stickers on the
Yeah,
back.
they put the Transformer sticker crap in.
Those
I don't-
emblems.
Yeah, no thanks. Decepticon emblems and stuff. Like, I don't get it.
What about you?
Yeah, I agree with you on the Camaro thing. I'd definitely take the new Corvette if I had to choose. I'm more of an older, I like 80s cars and I like 70s cars. So I'd rather go for the older stuff. But, you know, the C8 Corvette does look very promising. It looks awesome. It's got everything. And it's finally like a mid-engine car. I don't like Porsches because they look like VW Beetles that have been stretched out, which is what they actually are.
True.
But I can't deny the fact that they're fantastic cars. Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right.
No arguments there. Edward Barry. I heard the Hong Kong protests have spread and sparked in the mainland. Guangdong, maybe if I heard it correctly. Have you guys heard? No. Fake news. Wrong. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
There are massive protests in Guangdong.
It's got nothing to do with
It has
Hong Kong
nothing to do with Hong
protests.
Kong. And I swear to God, this is
Yeah.
one thing. And I addressed this yesterday in my live stream, but I cut the Q&A out.
Okay.
The one thing that pisses me off so much is that everyone's going apeshit right now about the Guangdong protests and how it's spreading from Hong Kong. And the reason I hate that is because there are hundreds of thousands of protests every single year in China.
Yeah.
And the only reason this is a very minor one compared
Yeah.
to some of the uprisings
Sure.
that have happened. The only reason this is getting pressed is because of the Hong Kong protests. So everyone thinks it's linked. It has nothing to do with it. The government promised to have an eco park
Yeah.
in this rural area. So they're going to bulldoze everyone's houses.
Yeah.
Instead, they're going to build a massive crematorium and burn bodies.
Yeah.
That's super bad feng shui.
Yeah.
Chinese people go ape if they put dead bodies on the property.
Yeah, it's very bad, yeah.
So that's what the protest is about. And it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy. They're shooting fireworks at each other and the military comes in and arrests, probably killing people, to be honest,
Yeah.
you know. But it happens all the time. It has nothing to do with Hong Kong. I'm not mad at you, Edward. I'm just so sick of this news linking
You know,
these things together.
the thing is also, it does happen all the time, but it very rarely makes the news.
That's the thing.
Always it gets squashed. Because, okay, never mind actually having seen protests in real life while in China. I filmed a couple, actually. I've got some footage, which I'll show at some point.
But there's actual uprisings, dude.
But on WeChat, you see these
Yeah.
clips, you see video clips all the time before they get scrubbed of like villagers like tipping over bulldozers
Yeah.
and setting them on fire
Killing
and
people.
doing all sorts of like attacking the cops, actually killing security guards and police,
And vice versa.
stoning them to death and stuff. It's quite big, but in order to protect the social harmony of China, this stuff gets scrubbed super soon. And you know what happened to that like guy and the motorbike guy sitting in the chair? The guys sending these, like, you share those things on WeChat, those guys just get disappeared, you know.
Bye-bye.
That's not something that the CCP wants to get out there, because if you disrupt social harmony, if you show that people are actually unhappy and that rioting, you know, is happening, other people might join in. You
Right.
know, it might topple like whatever's going on there. So this particular protest happened to leak out. Footage of it leaked out, and that's why people talk about it. Usually it doesn't leak out, so no one talks
Honestly,
about
if this had leaked out, though, if in the Hong Kong protests hadn't happened, it wouldn't make Western news.
Yeah.
Trust me on this, because
Yeah.
there's other stuff that has leaked out on other websites that just never gains
it.
traction.
Right.
And I mean, there was an uprising in Guangdong that lasted a couple months, and it was a whole city
Yeah.
of people literally wanted to cede from the CCP.
Sure.
You didn't hear about that.
No.
You know?
No, you wouldn't.
So this is, you know, whatever. They deserve to protest, and I bet they're pissed off. But there was some rumors that they heard, like, some of the Hong Kong slogans within the protest. But listen, like, that didn't start for that reason.
No.
If for some reason later on there was some Cantonese phrases that Hong Kong people were using, that's coincidence, or you
Yeah.
know, maybe they heard about it now, right?
Yeah, it's
But that's
possible.
not why it started.
Yeah, they're not actually linked.
No.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Anyway, let's move on to our next segment. What do you say?
Yes.
Our next segment is Guanxi Corner, where we talk about everything to do with relationships, business, personal, anything like that when it comes to dealing with cross-cultural stuff. So,
Yep. I'm just gonna chill out on the beach here right now.
yeah. You know, it was so hot when I filmed that.
I remember, and you're in your freaking suit.
Yeah. I'm really happy with that footage. It came out
That's
really
really
well.
nice,
yeah.
yeah.
And that was the Spark,
Yeah.
which, believe it or not, is only 1080p.
Yeah. Some of the spark footage looks crap. That would.
Oh, yeah.
If it's
yeah.
good lighting,
It's
it's
got to
great.
be good lighting. Yeah.
Anyway, not a sponsor.
No.
Don't buy DJI products. 'Cause hey guys.
Yeah.
Hold on. This guy's name is Clint.
Okay.
Hey guys, I am going to visit my fiance's parents in China for the first time. Well, congratulations. They're in Shanghai, but they don't speak English. Okay, that makes sense. And I've never been to China before. Any ideas about what to bring them as gifts? I'm pretty nervous because I don't want to make any mistakes or offend them.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to go first?
First off, congratulations. I guess you're getting
Yeah.
married.
Yeah.
Clint.
I knew a guy called Clint. His brother was called Tex. This is not even a joke.
For real? Is
Yeah.
it the same dude?
No, it's two different people.
No, I know. Is this Clint?
No, I don't think so.
You probably would.
Yeah, he'd probably say, I know you, yeah.
Anyway, if you're going to visit them, the easiest piece of advice I can give, I'm so sick of, we used to talk about this. It's kind of funny, like, don't give them a clock, or don't give them shoes, or
don't give them a green hat.
It doesn't matter, dude. Who's going to give someone that crap anyway? Nice to meet you. Here's a grandfather clock.
Yeah, here's a green hat.
Who even has a green hat?
Well, I mean, a clock, I've made that mistake before.
Maybe a watch, right?
Yeah. Songjong, you don't want to do that.
But I wouldn't just show up at someone's house and be like, have this watch, dude. No, it's a little bit weird.
No, that is weird. Yeah.
Anyway, I would give them something. I don't know where you're from. Let's say you're from Boston.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's say there's this amazing local gin that they make, right,
Sure.
in this distillery. That is something local from your hometown. And Chinese people love stuff that comes from specific areas.
特色,
right?
yeah.
特色, it means specialty.
Specialties, yeah.
So if you're from, maybe you could get them some dried seafood from the Boston Harbor or something, right? Yeah. Something specific to your area is much more important than getting them some random crap like Chinese tea or something.
Sure. No, that's the mistake that people make often is they're like, oh, they're Chinese, let me get them something Chinese. And I always equate this, I give an analogy here. If you are, say, a wine connoisseur, right? So you love red wine and
you love it.
You know, and white wine or whatever. And some random like guest comes along and they're like, oh, I heard he likes wine, so I'm going to get him some wine.
Right.
It's a very bad idea because they're probably going to get crap that you don't like.
Right.
Probably going to go to the supermarket and buy like a medium level wine or something. They bring it to you, and you're being a wine connoisseur. You look at this and you're like, "Come on, man, this is
swill.
cheap plunk." Or it's like, I don't like this varietal. You know, it's like, I'm sorry, but I'm not much of a Cabernet guy.
Well,
so
you got me the right wine, but the wrong year.
So that's why it's not a good idea to go try and buy like baijiu or buy tea or. Don't get something Chinese. Bring something foreign and special because that means a lot more. I used to give this advice to my students, the doctors I used to train. I used to say, like, you're going to go to Australia. You're going to take some gift for your professors. Take them like a FUZA. You know those little key rings that have got like the Chinese characters for luck and stuff. Take them like a
It's
nice
a shitty gift
Chinese,
in China.
Yeah,
like,
but
it's shitty, but for foreigners, it's
take
kind of
them.
cool.
I always said, like, try to get something with Hanzi on it, you know, with the Chinese characters, because foreigners love that. They think it looks cool. So, you know, get a little scroll or...
You can pretend like they're a Shaolin monk.
Yeah, or get them some kind of special tea, Chinese tea, in a nice tin that's got beautiful artwork on it or something, because that's something they'll treasure. They'll be like, this is different, you know, and they'll keep it in their house. I know my mother kept a freaking tin of Chinese oolong tea that she was given by, like, a Taiwanese business associate of my dad's when I was, like, 5 years old or something. It's still in the house because it looks really nice.
That's very true. Counterpoint to that is I freaking hate tea. I hate Chinese tea. It's terrible, guys. Come on. Especially green, like, and it's like $1,000. This one's $1,000, and they would say this is our specialty. It tastes like shit. It's so sour, and I just don't like green tea to begin with. So there's nothing to do with China. Like, the best stuff does come from China, but I hate it.
Yeah.
So my point is, like, I brought some expensive ass shit from my parents.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's so lovely. They were super sweet about it. But do you think they drank that? Come
no,
on.
no,
absolutely not.
And I'm going to be honest with you. Like, the tea that my mother kept the tin, but she never had the tea.
She never drank it.
They tried it, and they were like,
this is wonderful.
It's lovely. Yeah, okay.
So lovely. I'll never drink it again.
Yeah, probably, like, dumped it in the trash straight away. But it's all about, like, it's got to be something special. A little fan or something.
That being said, if someone likes tea, the best stuff is from China. Or Taiwan,
but
or
we're talking. This is reverse.
No, I'm just saying. If there is tea on the table, right? Don't give it to someone like me that doesn't necessarily like tea.
Okay.
Give it to if they like tea, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're doing the reverse. It's not about giving it to foreigners. It's about giving it to Chinese.
Well, he understands what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Give them foreign stuff from your area.
I've got to speak in defense of Chinese tea for a second here. It's kind of like Western wine culture. There are so many different kinds.
Of course. They all taste sour.
Different grades and different qualities. I've had some kind of sweet tasting ones, but you know what the difference is that in China they don't add anything.
No.
So it's like hot water with some leaves in it.
It's a sour, bitter hot water with leaves in it.
Pu'er cha is not that sour.
I like pu'er cha.
Yeah, that's
pretty. But that's
okay.
one big, huge type.
Yeah.
And most of it is green tea, dude.
Yeah.
Most of it is.
Yeah, it is. A lot of it is.
Oolong cha, all the other ones that I don't remember.
Tia Guanyin.
Come on. Like, this little bag is $500, and I'm gonna show you.
Have you seen those tea cakes? It's like you get a tea cake,
and they're like
you keep it the whole year, and it's like gets moldy, and it's anyway.
No,
it can be really nice, and the ritual surrounding tea, the kung fu tea, is actually really cool.
That's really cool.
It's really, really cool. Yeah.
I'm literally, and I don't want to harp on this, but like sitting around a tea table with tobacco-stained teeth uncles, smoking cigarettes and literally
swilling that tea,
doing nothing
Yeah.
except sipping tea and coughing between cigarettes
hawking up flame and stuff. Yeah, okay.
while they have some shit government TV show in the background. Do you know how many times I've had to have that situation?
Oh yeah, I know exactly.
And it can last hours.
And it always they have that like picture that kind of 3D moving. You know what I mean? That, like,
Yes, dude, you completed my nightmare. It's like this holographic piece of shit, not painting.
Yeah.
It's sometimes I'll have like a race car on it.
So,
Sometimes
yeah, or
it's
like
got
a
like a naked
waterfall.
baby.
Yeah, and it's like moving around. It's anyway. Yeah, that's yeah.
Sorry, we just had a bit of a
Yeah.
nostalgia there.
Yeah.
Bad nostalgia.
Yep.
K-Dog. Thank you for the for Guanxi Corner, by the way.
Yeah.
We're done with that, right?
Yeah, Clint, you know what to do. Go find something special from your hometown. Something different, you know.
Yes.
Slim Jim or something, I don't know.
The wooden furniture.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Edward Berry. I just did that. K-Dog from Norway. Can you give your opinion on DNA collecting? There is like a huge thing going on, and we will promise to talk about it in the next episode. We just don't know enough yet.
Yeah.
We had to put that one on the back burner. I think more stuff will be uncovered soon too.
Yes.
Logic Noodles, thank you very much. Sarah J. Jacobs, and I'll do this one before we go into the next. Did you hear about the Chinese spy that defected to Australia? Yes, I watched the whole thing. He spilled the beans on Chinese vindication nation for Australia belongs to China. Yep.
Australia belongs to China.
And props to him. Like, whether he was a big fish or a little fish, it was funny how China tried to make him into just like a criminal back home, like a fraudster.
I mean, I feel like he's definitely a lot smaller than he makes himself out to be.
It doesn't matter,
the
though.
fact that
there's a defection.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen.
Unprecedented. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's
move on to worldview. Okay, where we talk about things happening around the world, especially with regards to China. Usually. So let's move on to our first story in worldview, which
I have like Stockholm syndrome with you talking and like doing those introductions.
Okay, well, let's talk about this, shall we? Oh, sorry.
Hey,
I'm flying solo here with this thing. Give me a second.
What if it loads up another video and it's something really bad?
No, it never will.
Okay, never will. Okay, this is a Pakistani woman, and what's been happening? We've talked about human trafficking quite a bit on this channel and on our own channels, but most of the human trafficking comes from North Korea and the Southeast Asian country borders.
Yeah, like Vietnam and Laos.
The thing is, one of China's biggest friends is actually Pakistan of all countries, even though China is very averse to Islam, which I find ridiculous, right? And you'd think Pakistan would be pissed off about that. But
many
corrupt governments love each other very, very much, right?
Sure.
Gotta have a border. And they have, military exercises and tons of investment in Pakistan as a border region. It's a good way of controlling the region. Now, there's been tons of human trafficking coming from selling wives from Pakistan into China.
Sure. Because of the woman shortage.
Because of the woman shortage. We talked about this, ties in the last episode.
Yeah.
Now, what happened is it's become an international case, and obviously there's like over 600 women that have been documented as like disappeared from their homes, gone forever, and literally sold as slaves into China. And everyone expects someone to do something about it. Even the Chinese people and Pakistani people are like, "What's going on? Like, we have to cooperate and get these women back home."
Sure,
that's what friendly countries do, right? They totally dropped the case and they like ignored it because they don't want to damage the PR of Pakistani-Chinese friendship.
Yeah.
So they let an atrocity literally go into public eye.
Turn a blind eye.
And they turn a blind eye to it. And there's so much really bad stuff coming out about this.
Yeah.
So I just felt like we had to address it because it's pretty bad.
Yeah, human trafficking is terrible, like all around, and it is a huge thing in China. It's a stain on China, and I've brought this up in videos in the past. I talked about the kidnapping of children, and
that's the most despicable to me.
This is something that really like frustrates me, and I personally stopped a human trafficking gang on the Shenzhen metro. If anyone hasn't heard about that, and I got them arrested. The thing is, every time I bring it up, the people that jump into defense, with whataboutism, they're like, "Oh yeah, more people are kidnapped in America every year," which is bollocks.
Bullshit.
Absolute bollocks. So they say things like that, or they're like, "There's no way it can happen because China's got so many cameras."
Right.
Yeah, those cameras are like in shit ADP, and if you ever try to
is that why I lost 3 motorcycles? Because the CCTV cameras didn't work that
day? Exactly,
yeah.
They're ineffective. They may be good for like, I don't know, controlling the masses and stuff, but when an actual crime happens, they're never effective. every single time.
Yeah. Have you
Every
noticed that?
single time.
You go to the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, no, but we couldn't get the license plate. Oh no, but we
You
couldn't
have
see
no idea how many times me and Winston have gone to the cops and been like, we need to see the CCTV footage
Yeah.
from 3 a.m. at this
like
night.
you
blah,
know
blah.
the time I've had to help a lot of foreigners because especially back in the day when I was meeting all of my subscribers back in Shenzhen, and I would every time someone get a hold of me,
Yeah.
I meet up, we'd go out for drinks or for barbecue, and I used to help them whenever they had trouble.
Yeah.
And quite often people would have situations like they've left their laptop in the trunk of a taxi or something, and we'd go to the local cop station and they'd be like, no, the cameras weren't working, or
It's always
no,
that.
can't find it. They either didn't want to deal with us, or they just didn't give a crap to help out. Those cameras are so ineffective. So when children are kidnapped in broad daylight, nothing gets done because
Nope.
they look at the cameras like, oh, it doesn't work. Or
That's what
it's
happened
like,
when my
shit.
apartment got broken into, right?
Yeah.
And then we scared the guy off, and he ran away, and it like spidered down the building.
Yeah.
There's cameras everywhere.
Sure.
We go down to the Baoan, the security guard.
Yeah.
Cops are called. Everyone's like milling around smoking cigarettes, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, see, there's no footage
Yeah.
from that time."
There's no footage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Guys, people might accuse us of being very anecdotal, but it's
Oh,
not
that's
like
what we
once
can
or
talk about.
twice. It's
No,
like
it's every
freaking time.
I've never seen a proper
Yeah.
clip from a CCTV camera.
Yeah, it's just like every time there's been a crime that I've had to deal with, and I've had to help other foreigners. You have to understand, I've translated for other foreigners who've
Right.
had their things stolen.
We were
We've
little
had to
caretakers.
deal with the cops and stuff back in the day. Never once was it resolved through the CCTV.
Nope.
Never once. So this human trafficking thing is massive in China. It's a big problem. I really, really wish it could get sorted out and more spotlight was put on it.
The Chinese government cares more, less about solving crimes. They don't actually, literally, people in the CCP, the majority of them, their prerogative is not to stop human trafficking.
Yeah.
It is not to stop drug labs. It is not to stop anything that they actually say is really bad. Their prerogative is to use all this technology and laws to monitor people to promote their rule. Because if somebody does all this bad shit, you can get away with really bad stuff for a long time. But the minute you criticize authority, you're in the chain in the chair like the motorcycle.
That's true.
dude.
But also, I think their actual priority is to stop people finding out about these bad things.
This is also. a thing,
it's
yeah.
like they don't want to stop these things necessarily. I mean, I feel like they do want to stop them if they
Yeah.
could, but they're not going
it's
to put
not
their
priority,
effort in.
no.
Why would you spend all this time and money like going out there and busting, like kidnapping gangs and stuff, if all you needed to do is just make sure that nobody found out about it?
That's what pisses me off so much is that I loved being in China for so many characteristics, but one of them that freaking frustrated me was there's no reconciliation for crimes.
Yeah.
Especially when you as a foreigner are affected. They're
Yeah.
absolutely
No, then you're
will
just
ignore
like,
you.
they're just like, psh,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
It sucked.
Yeah, it sucks. Anyway, let's move on. What else have we got in What's New? Just that we had our interview
Worldview.
with... Sorry, worldview. What am I saying? Worldview. That's when we talk about things
What's
happening
new in the
yeah.
world
Yeah,
from
exactly.
our view.
Yeah.
So yeah, go check out his video. Last segment that we have is our
Oh, yes, we better move on to that, shan't we? Q&A.
Shan't we?
Yes.
You just said shan't.
Shan't.
Like shan't.
Yes, that's
Right.
correct. It's
I know, it's
proper
like
English.
Shakespearean shit.
No, it's not. I'm not saying, thus I I have forsaken myself. I smote him with a blow that... never mind. Yeah, I can get into that if you want.
I found that like South Africans that speak native English have like an older form of English.
Yeah, of course.
It's like ancient
Most
shit.
of the British South Africans are a couple generations in.
Right,
So,
that makes
it's
sense.
like World War II era, like my grandfather.
So you're like a time capsule.
Pretty much.
Right.
Still sit there with cucumber sandwiches and stuff.
That's freaking I mean, I guess it's disgusting. It's the most
Cucumber sandwiches are
most
fine.
boring
No.
piece of shit sandwich ever. You probably also like sloppy joes.
What's that?
Okay, this is an American thing.
Right.
It's literally ground beef mixed together with like ketchup and Worcestershire sauce, and then you throw it on a hamburger bun. It's wet.
I mean, I like the idea.
You
but,
would love it.
But I don't really like ketchup all mixed up in there.
Oh, okay.
If it was mayonnaise, I'd go ape. That sounds
Ground
great.
beef and mayonnaise.
That's going to be so good.
That actually is probably. I love mayonnaise.
gonna be amazing.
We're big mayo fans.
Yeah, we're going to try it out. Mayo.
But no, my problem with
Yeah.
cucumber sandwiches. Sorry if this
Yeah.
is like totally off tangent, but it's a piece of bread with some unsalted butter with sliced cucumbers, which all three of those ingredients have no flavor.
It's about the like crispiness of it. It's like
Put a piece of ham on there.
Yeah, I mean you can make your own like variants. Why
Oh,
not?
okay.
If you wanted to, but it wouldn't be a
Right.
proper cucumber. And you got to cut the crusts off, and it's got to be like small little squares. And,
Yes. my first year in China, our cafeteria lady, they was just made greasy slop, right?
Yeah.
From Sichuan.
Yeah.
And she was sweet, though. She was really nice. And she decided to make foreign food.
Yeah.
So she made cucumber sandwiches, but she used Chinese sweetbread.
Oh, no.
She used that sweet mayonnaise instead of butter. You know, that
Yeah.
pie sweet
Yeah.
kind?
That's... Oh.
And then she also used sliced cucumber with the skin on. And then also that Chinese pink ham. That was the sandwiches.
Well, yeah. Anyway, we probably should get into the Q&A.
I think people enjoy our anecdotes.
Well, I hope so.
Okay, Q&A.
Yeah.
Next, we have Cars in Depth. Come to the big Detroit Auto Show next June. We might be able to pull that off.
Yeah. I mean, especially with our new channel, the
Hey,
direction.
oh,
Okay, we've got a new channel, and it's
do.
going to be dropping probably
It has
January.
nothing to do with cars. Henry Walker.
Yeah.
Future of the West equals South Africa.
That's tough to say.
I don't understand.
Well, it's just like, so the rest of the world's going to go crap like South Africa, basically.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but
But
whatever,
okay,
whatever, yeah.
Thank you. Massive Fins. Have to take a face scan now to get a phone number. Foreigners visiting need to take a burner phone. Yes. Number one, if you're going to go to China, take a burner phone. Do not have any social media apps on there or pictures that you've taken pretty much of anything, because there is a high chance that you will get your phone looked at.
Yeah, I mean,
No, there is. It's happening a lot.
Of course, you don't need to be too paranoid.
No, but it's
because
better.
they're looking for specific things. If you are voicing support for the pro-democracy Hong Kong protests, make sure you don't have any of that in your like chat history or pictures of that on your phone. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for any kind of Tibetan, Dalai Lama, Free Tibet. They're looking for any Uyghur, organ harvesting, this or that. Anything that's sensitive to China, just don't have that on your phone. You're
But
fine.
you understand what? I didn't finish why I think you should take a burner phone. If you're going to be there, you're going to be using Chinese apps and stuff. You don't want all that crap on your good phone.
That's also true.
You could be compromised.
A Russian friend of mine came to visit. Now, back in the day, you could just go to any little newsstand and buy a SIM card,
I
right?
used to do it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I had a bunch of numbers, and I used to help my friends and subscribers every time they come, because it was cheap. It's like 50 RMB or something, right? So it's
$8.
nothing. $8, and you've got a local number with a little bit of data on it. So I used to help people a lot. And it was around about 2013 or 14 is when it started to change, I'd say. Because a Russian friend of mine came over, and we went to go buy a SIM card for him, and they wouldn't allow him to buy it without a photocopy of his passport. But this being China, I just convinced them, and they were like, oh, okay, we'll just like use they actually pulled out their previous customer's ID, Chinese ID card.
I had a Chinese ID.
And so they pulled that out, and they're like, we'll just use our previous customer's ID to register your phone.
Right.
Which,
They didn't give a shit.
that's kind of crappy. Imagine he went and did something
Like
bad.
sold drugs or something.
Yeah, anyway, but you do need an ID. This has obviously gotten more and more intense. I doubt they're very, very much clamping down.
Dude,
on this.
there were shops right before I left. There were shops that wouldn't even with my password, wouldn't sell me a SIM card.
Yeah, because
it's too mafan.
Yeah, because you're a foreigner.
Yeah,
it's
they're
too
like,
much effort. Yeah, but yeah, you can buy a SIM card, and especially if you go into like a China mobile shop or something. But it's actually quite a lengthy process, and it's kind of like going to the DMV.
Yeah. Go with maybe like Google Fi or something
Google Fi is amazing.
on your burner
And I
phone.
think Google Fi currently works in China. Last time I checked, and you get unfiltered access to the internet. You don't need a VPN.
It depends on your location. There were
Right.
people in Sichuan saying that they were still blocked, and then you go to like Shanghai and that was unblocked.
Yeah, Shanghai's not China. We know that.
Sure. Next, Trevor travels the world. Have fun on your travels, Trevor.
Yeah.
That's a good little play on words. Keep up the good work, guys. In your opinion, is there any way to combat Wu Maos? They're everywhere, even on non-related China content. Yeah, I can't believe how many Wu Maos there are now.
Yeah.
It's an army.
Absolutely.
You ignore them. Do not embrace them in chat.
Yeah.
There's just no point. They don't even know. Half of them don't know what to say.
No, a lot of them are just copying and pasting stuff. They get directives, and look, Wu Mao. We've talked about this before. It started with people being paid, but a lot of Chinese nationalists are just doing it voluntarily these days, and they go to these forums, and it's like these board guys. They hang around, and then there'll be like something that outrages like the Wu Mao community.
And they get their command.
Yeah, so they'll basically on their forum they'll be like, this company or this person on Twitter said this thing, like go get him, and then they'd like say, write this, copy and paste, change it a little bit or whatever, and so they copy and paste this crap.
I'm still waiting for an effective I want to see a Wu Mao comment where I totally disagree with it, but it actually is written well and like I can understand their perspective, and I still haven't. in 10 years, scene 1.
No, I mean, they tried that thing for a long time. Like, oh, we used to like your videos, and then you changed.
Yeah, but you see that the third time, and you're like, holy shit, there's actually a directive.
Yeah, it's exactly the same words. Exact same words.
Used to be fair and objective.
Oh, I used to be subscribed to
Now
you,
you're
but
a
then
sour
you did
grape.
this. Yeah, now you're a sour grape, so I unsubscribe. And then you check and you see, hey, they were never subscribed in the first place.
Because we can see that.
And the one thing about Wumaos, though, that's kind of funny is that it's usually they go in, they leave one comment, and then that's it. They never come back.
No.
Even if you reply to their comment and you're like, dude, what's up? They don't even come back to reply.
You got a real dude if he replies.
Yeah, if they start replying, then you're just dealing with a nationalist with a lot of time on his hands. But we get throwaway comments from throwaway accounts all the time.
The majority, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what sucks is that YouTube's spam filter was working really well. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And now all of their comments go through. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's weird.
What happened?
I have no idea.
I don't see that held for review stuff anymore.
Yeah, it's weird.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
L.E. Munoz. You guys ever see... less janky, thank you. You guys ever see any Chinese super cop action or kung fu brawls? Big fan of Big Trouble in Little China here.
That doesn't happen.
In real life, you mean?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of fights, for sure.
But the thing
Not
is,
kung fu.
Cops, dude, remember we were in our shop and we were working on bikes and we had our like custom bike shop and we just hear this like, rah! And this guy came running around the corner and the cops are just like tasering him over and over and over again with one of those handheld tasers. They like tackle him to the ground, just like, and then he'd like escape, and then they kept doing that. That's probably about the biggest thing we saw.
Yeah,
really,
with cops.
With cops, because in China it's kind of a strange situation. Police don't actually actively chase and engage with criminals. Like, you can drive through a red traffic light and smash into a car and then drive off. They won't chase you. But what they do, the way Chinese like law enforcement works, is they'll come visit you at your house later.
Always.
That's
it's
why
always the house.
Yeah,
visit.
it's like they'll take down your license plate and okay, he's obviously this is who it's registered to, and they know where you live, and the hukou system and the registration system is pretty tight in China.
It's like Soviet era, their booklet. Same thing.
It's the same. It's like papers. They'll be able to find exactly where you live. Yeah. And so then they'll come find you later and deal with it.
And they know where you've moved to.
If you've done all these traffic infractions and stuff, then they'll just send you like lots of fines in the mail.
And when you don't pay them, they'll come to your house.
Yeah.
And what they'll do is they'll park this huge like Delica van outside your house, and they won't have their sirens up, they'll have the lights on.
Yeah.
And then they go into your house, and then they'll put you in the back of that van.
Sure.
Usually with zip ties around your hands. I totally don't know why I know this. And then they'll take you to the police station.
Sure.
Cesario JPN, old fan, thank you very much. Talk about DC Comics pulling a Batman holding the Molotov cocktail poster due to CCP complaints. That had no context.
Well, they were complaining, the nationalists were complaining that Batman was wearing black.
Yeah, which is the Hong Kong.
Come on, Batman wears black, right?
I can't even.
Batman wears black.
Shit.
Like, he's wearing black and he's throwing a Molotov cocktail and he's
In
got
the
a mask
past.
and he's got a mask on.
And in the past.
Yeah.
This was made before the protest.
Was it?
Yes.
That poster, I didn't know, but okay, the fact that he was wearing a mask, like the protesters, actually it was Batgirl, I think. So wearing a mask.
No, it was Batman, I think.
Wearing a mask, wearing black, and throwing a Molotov cocktail. You're like, well, if you knew anything about Batman, you'd know that he wears a mask and he wears black. So it's not like that was done on purpose. But they were like, there are too many parallels, to the Hong Kong protesters. So DC Comics is supporting the Hong Kong. And DC Comics was like, holy shit, we might lose all of our revenue and like our potential
DC
revenue.
is such a cuck.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Any company that's pulling that crap to appease China when they pull shit like this, have a spine. Can't you say like, no, listen, you're just dumb. Batman wears black and wears a mask and throws Molotov cocktails for some reason. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It got taken down straight away and they apologized.
I ate a banana yesterday and I heard Ted Bundy's favorite color was yellow.
Oh my god. Better watch out. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Innocent bystander. A lot of people have been using Hong Kong as a banner for pro-gun debate. What's your opinion? This is tricky. We talk about gun control a lot, me and Winston.
Yeah.
And we might not have the opinion that you think we do, but we're still formulating an opinion, to be honest.
We'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah. Comrade General,
okay.
In Taiwan. C-Milk's tea comment has hurt the feelings of 23 million Taiwanese people. We urge C-Milk to correct his mistakes or face our resolute and forceful measures. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to anyone that likes tea. I don't like it. I'm not saying it's all bad. I just don't like it.
Sure.
Right? So
Yeah.
screw me. Right?
Yeah.
Midtown Mike. Wow. Thank you, dude. Appreciate
Holy
it, Mike.
crap, yeah.
Hey guys, keep up the awesome work. Congrats, Winston, on the new addition to the family. Hope you and your family had a great Thanksgiving and an amazing Christmas.
Thank you very much.
Dude.
Really, thank you. It's been rough. I've had very little sleep, hence the
He finally gets to see what I had to do.
disheveled, look, and yeah.
You look exactly the same, dude.
Nah, well, I don't have my suit and tie. I haven't been able to go and get my dry cleaning or anything.
Oh,
You know.
I like your question mark phrase.
I don't think people understand. You see,
Well, some people do.
This says ni gan ma, which
are you
means
doing?
like, what are you doing? But if you just read this gan, this actually is like
the F word.
Well, it basically
It is.
means
It means sex.
Yeah, it means sex, but like this basically
But
means
very
like, but it's kind of like an aggressive.
Right,
It's an
yeah.
aggressive like anyway, it doesn't matter. But this is like if a Chinese person saw me walking around with this on, it would be like, do you want to fuck?
Yeah, seriously. That's literally what it means.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I'm sorry. I mean, I only realized like when we were looking at it on camera.
That's bullshit, though, because you walked around in China with that all the time. Even in Taiwan, you did that.
Yeah.
People were laughing.
Yeah, they were. Oh man, they got really pissed off when I had that like Washa Waigur and Nisha Zhongguo and
Oh,
T-shirt. 'cause
yeah,
I
you wore
remember
that in Taiwan. That means I'm a foreigner and you were Chinese.
Yeah.
But we were in Taiwan, so
Yeah, they're
reading
like,
the
and they were like,
characters.
"Woman, Busha Zhongguo
Yeah,
and
some
Woman
people
Taiwan
called
and
me
yeah."
out. Some guy's drinking.
Yeah, they
Those
called me
dancing
out, and I was
guys.
like, "Yeah, no,
They were chill,
I wear this in China." And
They were
were
super
like, yeah,
nice.
they weren't aggressive. They
No.
were just like, "That's bullshit, man."
We were like, listen,
Yeah.
we're on Taiwan side here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And they were
yeah.
like, cool, and cheers to us and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It was cool.
It's funny.
Elk X. Will
Mm-hmm.
we ever see Tibet, Xinjiang, Inner Mongolia gain independence? No.
Probably not.
Massive Fins, thumbs up now! Oh yeah, remind everyone to thumbs up. I don't think that's a thing anymore.
don't
So
think so?
my YouTube manager told me that the like thing doesn't mean anything anymore. It's just a metric for creators to know if people like their stuff.
I still like getting a thumbs up.
No, I do. I'm saying though, it's not like, when people say it really helps me out. No, it doesn't. It doesn't help you out. Shut up.
It
Stop
does.
asking.
It helps you out on a psychological level.
But they're saying like it's gonna make my video do better.
Right.
Like it'd be part of the team.
Engagement, man.
But Massive Fins, thumbs up this video to show us that we did a dang good job. Rootin' tootin' good job, and we appreciate it.
Look, we better grab some questions out of the general,
course.
general chat.
I think I
because-
finished general chat.
Mhm.
I've finished the super chats.
Okay, fantastic.
All right, cool. I will hunt around. You can entertain people with a whistling or something.
Well, what I'll talk about is what's going on in the background here, which I like to do. You can see us. This is we're riding on. This was like Truck Death Road, we used to call it.
Truck Death
You can see all the fireworks over there. Those are the like firecrackers. Now, this is obviously we shot this sometime near Chinese New Year, but usually whenever there's a celebration, it can be for a wedding, it can be for a funeral, it can be for the opening of a new shop, anything like that. What'll happen is people will go and set out these firecrackers, but it's insane. They will light thousands of these things. And they're so freaking loud. And when you're riding through the countryside and all that, and this goes on, we've been riding our motorcycles and it just starts going off and we've ridden through
Dude,
them.
it's so
It's
scary. And people are laughing in
ridiculous.
their car, and you
Yeah.
feel the hatred of 1,000 suns.
Dude, wait, we filmed. Why did we never put this up?
Oh, yeah,
remember, we
did.
filmed.
It was a wedding thing, right?
Yeah, there was a wedding procession in front of us, like
Yeah.
a bunch of cars. And what they were doing was they were throwing
Might have
these.
been that day.
I think
It
it
might have
was.
been.
It might have been.
Yeah.
I don't know why we never put this in a video, but I recorded it specifically because
Yeah.
we were riding and they were throwing these
was
firecrackers
that, yeah.
out of the car
Yeah.
in front of us, and they were just like
On purpose.
exploding on the street in
Right.
front of us and exploding on other cars and things like that. But that's kind of the way it works. It's like, oh, it's a big happy celebration, so we're just going to throw this crap out.
It does, but I was angry at the fact that they did target us because they were cracking up in the car.
Yeah, that's
laughing.
true.
I was
It's-
furious.
It's true, but I've been on the highway in Shenzhen in my car, and there'll
They
be
still
like
do
a
it, for sure.
BMW or something, and they're doing that, and they're throwing it on the highway at high
Don't care about
speeds.
other people.
Yeah, it's like firecrackers going off, exploding on your windscreen and stuff, and it's like, holy shit.
It's bad. It's worse when you're on a bike, though. It's
yeah.
terrifying.
Oh yeah, you can crash easy. Anyway.
So Leo Doyle, this is a normal question. He wants to know, what if someone saw your shirt and said, "Well, do you?"
Then I just
pretty
show them
funny.
like
Yeah, then you
Nigama
can-
means.
yeah.
Ni gan ma is kind of like it's
Slang.
an impolite way to say like what the hell are you doing basically. But at the same time,
Depends on the tone.
Yeah, it depends on the tone. It can
I
also
could be
be
like,
just
"Yo,
like
gama."
yeah, gama is just like hey, what's up? It can also mean what's up.
But if I say "Ni gama,"
These t-shirts, I made these t-shirts, right? And on the back it says "kan ba," which means look at the front. So it's kind of funny. People will see that and then they'll like come around to like look and see what it
says,
says.
"What
It's
are you
like
doing?"
what are you doing? Yeah, so
right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
now it just says bang.
Yeah.
We need more drunk content. Christmas drunk stream, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe we'll do something.
We rarely do that, but
Yeah.
we'll do a tipsy one, maybe not
Yeah.
a drunk one.
Yeah.
Because the last time we tried to film a video drunk, we ended up eating an entire duck with mayonnaise.
With mayonnaise, yeah.
That's still on camera.
Yeah, we haven't put that up though. Hopefully,
We will never put that up. Are you crazy?
That's when we got poisoned from the
Yeah.
like fake beer.
Okay, that's not our fault.
Yeah.
Can we get Uncle Police merch? The guy in the chair. I don't think we can profit off his misery.
I think that's not fair. Yeah, I think it'd be hilarious,
But it
it'd be
does
bad.
spread awareness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. If we didn't make it in like distasteful way,
No. Make him the hero.
yeah.
Uncle
Exactly.
Police.
Maybe we
Thank you
can.
for the idea.
Maybe we can make him say like "f the police."
Yeah. And he's breaking out of his chains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
And he's got a black mask on. And he's throwing a Molotov cocktail.
No, let's not get that far.
Yeah. Dan Ferentz, thank you for joining us, Danny boy. Thoughts on the 2022 Beijing Olympics? I think there's going to be so much pushback that they're going to lose the bid. I'm not joking. There's so much talk right now of boycott.
Yeah, I mean, I think China does have a bunch of stuff it needs to answer to, the CCP, and I think
it's we said this last time. It's the first time that normal people are talking about China and its problems.
Yeah, I think they do need to acknowledge that if they want to be a part of the world,
Act like a grown-up.
They have to be a little bit better.
Right.
There's a lot of things that China does at the moment which are very sort of underhanded
abhorrent.
and terrible. So they've got to own up to it, or at least show some progress. I think before we can treat them as a part of the world stage, basically.
I agree.
Yeah.
And guys, I hate to say this, but we're going to wrap this up.
Yes, we are.
This will go live immediately. And I want to say this, and this is not e-begging, and I'm not asking you to donate anything. What I'm going to tell you is that this is 100% guaranteed demonetized.
Just like our last 3 videos.
I don't know what it is about this specific channel, but they freaking hate us. And there's no tinfoil hat stuff.
No, it's not. It's obviously
we talk about controversial
we talk
stuff.
about controversial things. So this channel doesn't make us any money whatsoever.
No.
Other than the super chats. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, for sure.
That's incredible.
And at some point, those super chats will have paid for our streaming computer, so I appreciate that.
Very much so. But the whole point of this channel is it gives us an open forum to talk to you guys at length. Because when we do our videos, they're kind of scripted. We kind of have to sit down, think about it, go out and film, edit, and we can't really be talking about the latest news and things like that. So it's good that we can
I
talk
think it's
to
great.
you. Yeah.
I have a great time doing this.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
look forward to it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next episode in exactly 2 weeks.
Yes, can't wait. Guys, thank you very much for
Play
watching.
us out.
You know the drill as always. Stay awesome.
Don't cut yourself
I'm not going to cut
off.
myself off.